My name is Ache, and I just want to start by saying thank you so much for tuning in. It really means a lot to me. I hope you enjoy this episode, and who knows, maybe you can relate. So, I've been 25 for about 224 days today that I'm recording this episode. And in these 224 days, I have learned quite a bit. Nothing crazy, but I have learned nonetheless. A lot of the things that I've learned are things that I thought I had a pretty good understanding on before, but through my experiences over the past 224 days, I now have a way better understanding of the lessons that I've learned and I'm still learning and perfecting. So here is my list of 5 things that I've learned so far since I've turned 25. Number 1. Being insecure will stunt your growth in life. Confidence is the cheat code. Okay, so earlier on in the year, I felt my absolute best, okay? No one could bring me down. No one. I truly felt like that girl, and I was untouchable in my head. But as time went on and life started lifing, I slowly but surely lost that momentum and confidence. I began to come off my high and I stopped doing the things that fed my confidence, and it sucked. And because of that, I found myself essentially crawling back into my shell. And the truth is, people can sense when your confidence is low. I don't know how, but they can. And they start to treat you like you're invisible or like you're a nobody, or just, I don't know, they just start to treat you differently. And I didn't like that. I'll be completely honest with you. I like attention, okay? But not just any type of attention before you start coming for me, but I like and appreciate genuine attention. I like to be seen and I like to be heard, okay? And it's very difficult for people to notice your light if you dim it and you hide it from the world. Your light deserves to be seen. It's a part of your confidence. So, how did I slowly start to re-brighten my light? It was around March, and I decided that I was going to order business cards for the podcast. And it was a very simple design, It has the logo on it, a QR code in the back to scan, very simple. And when the cards came in, I was so happy with them, and it lit a fire underneath me. And having the cards on me 24/7 is what actually helped me build my confidence again. I'd be at work and I'd have a customer come in being super nice, and I'd just be like, "Hey, do you do you listen to podcasts by any chance?" And I honestly didn't even care what their response was. I would just give them my card. It would start a conversation, and I met so many cool people through doing that. And it helped me boost my confidence and brighten my light. A little bit, but it still helped. And in return, people began to see me again and people began to hear me, and I shined differently and I received the attention I wanted. Had I not made the cards and stayed in my insecure state, I would have never had the conversations that I had with the people that I've met through having the cards. So, in other words, I would have stunted my own growth because I didn't have the confidence to put myself out there. So, basically, what I recommend you do is pour into yourself. Do little things or big things if you want, do you. Anything that can help you grow mentally, physically, or spiritually. And when you begin to pour into yourself, the confidence follows. I knew that printing the cards was going to benefit me in terms of networking and getting the podcast out there, but I had no idea that it was actually going to slowly bring my confidence back. But I think that because I invested in myself, it made me feel good, and feeling good makes me feel confident. And I feel that the more you continue to pour into yourself, the confidence will also grow. And it will have a snowball effect. For me, it started with the cards. That made me feel good. And then I started to go out more, and that made me feel happy. Then I started responding to certain things differently, and my attitude was changing, and that made me feel good. And so on and so forth. All that bringing my confidence up and growing me into the person I want to become. And honestly, having confidence can and will open so many doors for you. And I truly believe that it is the cheat code to a successful life, whatever your definition of success is. Number 2, if it disrupts your peace, block or unfollow it. letting go is necessary. Okay, I used to be so okay with putting the ball in the other person's court instead of taking the initiative to end the game. And the reason I used to do that was because I was always so afraid to be the bad guy or to look like the bad guy. But let me give you an example, okay? I had a falling out with someone, but we ended on good terms. So I kept them on socials because I felt like unfollowing and blocking would just be dramatic. But as time went on, they started doing things that annoyed me. And I saw things that I didn't want to see and that I wasn't comfortable seeing. And at first, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to unfollow them because clearly I'm triggered and I don't have to deal with that if I don't want to. But then it brought me into a spiral, literally, because the truth is, deep down, I knew I wanted to block them. But then I started making excuses like, well, I can't block them because what if they need to reach out to me? I can't block them because I need them to see that I'm doing good, that I'm all right. I can't block them because then they'll look at me differently. They'll think this, that, and the third about me. And once I noticed that my peace of mind was getting rattled, it just reaffirmed why things had to end in the first place with this person. And the biggest reason why I didn't want to block them was because I didn't want things to be completely over. And I had to dig deep for that truth, okay? But after some reflection, all right, I learned that there is no space in my life for people who can easily trigger me and disrupt my peace. It's not worth it, okay? Letting go is necessary and it's a part of life, but it's hard. like very hard. Fully letting go of this person broke me for a little bit, and I had to literally grieve them all over again. But it had to be done. Like, enough was enough. When you part ways with someone, do it fully, okay? Because you'll find yourself holding on to thin hairs that will eventually break, and it will hurt every single time it does. You're prolonging the healing by holding on even just a little bit. So say your goodbyes to the things that can really rock your world and not in a good way. Block them, delete them, do what you have to do. You are not the bad guy for putting your feelings first. You are not the bad guy for not wanting to be traumatized and triggered. You are not the bad guy for ending the toxic cycle. Stop putting the ball in their court and end the game. You're protecting your peace, and it's not for them to understand. And trust me, in the beginning, it'll actually hurt you way more than them anyway. It's not easy to let go, but it's worth it. Number 3, looking good actually does feel good. This one is pretty self-explanatory, and I always knew this to be true, but for some reason, this year has really made me want to try a little more in regards to my looks. This one also kind of goes hand in hand with the whole confidence thing, but I felt like it needed its own section. I used to only try to look good when I was going out, and since the pandemic, I hadn't really gone out much at all till this year. And I work at a dispensary for now, so what I look like doesn't matter. So I would go to work looking like a full-blown bum. I had not a care in the world for what I looked like, which was great, I guess, but it didn't feel good. But I don't know, once I started gaining my confidence back, I said to myself, enough is enough. And I learned that it's still possible to dress comfortably and look presentable at the same time. Because for some reason, I didn't think that went hand in hand before. I don't know. Now I make sure my eyebrows are done, my cuticles are cut, my hair is slicked back, and on a really good day, I'll even put on mascara. I know, scandalous. As long as I feel like I look good, I will feel good. And what does feeling good do? Brighten my light and boost my confidence. What a full circle moment. Number 4. Without discipline, you will never reach your fullest potential. I fully learned this year, but it's something that I've known for as long as I could remember, and it's something I still struggle with. This podcast really put this into perspective for me. The discipline I have to stay consistent, even when I don't want to be, I've seen the benefits of it. What I love about my podcast is that even though not many people listen to it, the people who do listen to it feel safe enough to message me about it. And I've had people from different parts of the world message me about episodes, and I know it's because I've been consistent. And I know that staying consistent will attract more listeners in the long run, and they will help me create a better foundation for the show. Being disciplined also motivates others to be disciplined as well. One thing my friends tell me all the time is that I'm very disciplined. And personally, I would not consider myself a disciplined person because there are still many areas of my life where I lack a lot of discipline, too much for my own good. But I've seen and reaped the benefits of being disciplined in other areas of my life. And I just know that once I unlock the power of being disciplined in every single area of my life, I will be a monster. Okay? Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I will have unlocked beast mode at that point, and no one will be able to mess with me. It's easy to get away with doing the bare minimum, and doing the bare minimum can actually get you pretty far, honestly, but it won't get you to the maximum level of your potential, and you deserve to get there. You deserve to see what that looks like. I'm sure you don't want to end up in a place when you're older telling yourself, if only, and leaving yourself wondering of what could have been. You don't have to wonder if you do what you need to do to the best of your ability. You just have to always try your best. Some days your best will be a 10 out of 10, and some days your best will be a solid 3. But as long as you keep doing what you need to do consistently, there will be benefits to that. I can almost guarantee it. And lastly, number 5, it's okay for things to change. You don't need to have everything figured out. This one also speaks for itself. If you're in your 20s, your teens, your 30s, your 50s, however old you are, it's okay to not have things figured out. To be fair, I actually learned this one last year, but I had to remind myself about it again. You can plan for your perfect life all you want, but things will happen. Your plans will have to change. And in that season of changing your plans, you will feel like you don't have things figured out because you won't. And that's okay. In this life, I'm learning that you need to just roll with the punches. And sometimes you'll get knocked down so hard that you won't know what to do or how to get back up again. But the only thing you need to know is that you will get back up. How? I don't know. When? I don't know. Where? I don't know. But what I do know is that you will. Change is a part of nature. The seasons change all the time, but we still get surprised when things change in our lives. I made a post where I briefly mentioned how TikTok made me realize so many of us feel lost. And to me, that's kind of comforting because that means that a lot of us don't have things figured out. And a lot of us are trying our best to adjust to the changes of our lives. A lot of us are lost, but we're not alone. You're not alone. I'm not alone. And with the help of conversation and venting on social media, we're able to figure out parts of our lives together by giving one another advice or even just giving each other a safe space to let things out and talk things through. And I personally love that. We are all experiencing life for the first time. And once you learn that there is no right way to do it, I hope it frees you. I hope it frees your mind. And I hope that it makes you realize that it's really okay to not have everything figured out. And that's the 5 things I've learned in the past 223. Did I say 23 or 24 in the beginning? I can't even remember. Days of being 25. Some honorable mentions that didn't make the list. Everyone should stop smoking dispensary weed. Or better yet, stop smoking altogether if possible. Please save your lungs while you still can. The more love my friends show me, the more I believe in if he wants to, he will. If there's food at home, save your money for a fun time. BoJack Horseman is the best show of all time, and certain sacrifices are necessary in life. Anyway, before I end this episode, I wanted to ask you something. Okay, so I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was just mentioning how she really enjoyed the music segment that I had before at the end of my older episodes. And she thinks that it would be a good idea to add something different and new to the end of my newer episodes. So I was doing some brainstorming, and I have 4 ideas. Idea number 1 is ending with a breathing exercise or a meditation session, maybe like a minute or 2 or even 3. Idea number 2 is listening to 1 minute of me just saying positive affirmations. Idea number 3 is keeping it nice and short and cute with a random quote from literally anyone. And idea number 4 would be like a random fun fact, did you know type of thing. I'm also open to any and all ideas that you may have. So please reach out to me if you have anything in mind that you would like to hear at the end of my episodes. And if you're listening on Spotify, I would really appreciate if you can vote for whatever idea you like best in the poll that I set up in the caption, or comment a new idea that you think would be better. I will also be posting a poll on my personal Instagram after this episode drops, so you can vote there as well. And once we all come to a collective decision, I will most likely start the new outro on the next episode, so stay tuned for that. And now, to wrap things up, I'm only 25, okay? I haven't been 25 for even a full year. So I know there's a lot of other things I'm gonna be learning along the way, and I actually already have a part 2 for this episode in mind, so that's coming soon. And I'm looking forward to learning more and sharing more with you. And I also want to take a second to say thank you for being a part of my journey, especially to the few of you who have reached out to me to tell me that you listen to the podcast. You will never understand how much that means to me. It's a lot. But yeah, send this to a friend or send it in the group chat. And who knows, maybe you all can relate.